13th in the championship. The takeover happened, as I said it would. People will be, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. Good evening as well on this nice Friday. What a way to start your weekend than with these two gorgeous blokes staring at you through your video screen. I couldn't think of no better. I hope you're all doing well. Please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit the notification bell, and make sure you check out Lockie Leeds and, of course, Andrea on Twitter as well. I actually seen a comment, or it might have been a message. Someone said to me, I only downloaded Twitter so that I could connect with Andrea. So I was like, wow, that's amazing. Oh, wow. He's having an impact. I can't remember if it was a message or a tweet. I think it might have been a tweet, but that person will be watching, they'll know. Was it a tweet? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was basically keep you updated on what I was reading in Italy about the situation with Rads and the loan. So Joe invited me on the channel, and we've been in contact ever since, I think.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm saying someone messaged me saying they only connected on Twitter to connect with you.
Oh.
To watch, to see your tweets. Yeah. Oh, I remember how we spoke. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
My memory's bad, but it ain't that bad, Andrea. I forgot, who is this guy? Where's he come from?
No, really appreciate that. Yeah, made me happy. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. Right, we're here then to obviously talk about Watford. Watford says, I support Watford. Oh, sorry that we have empty seats. Blame the Arsenal and Spurs fans next door. Yeah, true. I guess, it's the North London derby this weekend as well, isn't it? And I'm really looking forward to it as an outsider. It's going to be a good game. But yeah, we're here to talk about Watford. But before we do, let's just have a little catch up about Leeds United. Lockie, I know you're an avid watcher of the press conference like myself. I was quite surprised how short and really nothing in it today at all. From Tuesdays where I was like, and that one was just a downer. I was like, oh, right, okay.
Didn't have Graham in it, did it? Graham holds it together.
True.
Yeah, it was just a bit boring, wasn't it? I think everyone midweek in it. Everyone's kind of
tired probably.
Yeah, from midweek. I mean, it's just a bit. I think we're all a bit like that at times. Oh, just get this one. Just ask a few questions. Yeah. A bit boring though. I want to know about. I didn't care about Ampadu's fitness. He'll be fine.
Why did they keep asking it as well? It's like three.
I want to know about Kamara, Gruev. Anthony. I don't know about the new people. Ampadu's fine.
I could understand the Gray chat. Yeah, like Ampadu saying, "What about Gray?" Are you not? But they just kept asking about Ampadu, and he kept saying, "No, he's fine. He's played a lot of football. Right. He's Welsh." It's just like, what are we doing here? So yeah, it was a bit strange, to be honest. Positive, obviously, Stuart Dallas, Andrea, but he's going to be a long way off. Daniel Farker said Bamford's train this week, won't be involved this weekend, but can be next. And obviously Willie Nonto as well. Ligament damage. What do we think? 6 to 8 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, collateral is also it's usually in that period length of time. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but really they were really going into him every game. So
it's like he's got a target on his back a little bit, hasn't it? Yeah. So everyone's smashing him. Yeah,
and the way he got injured too, it was after a challenge. So they kept targeting him, and he got injured by that. He wasn't protected by the referees too in certain games, I think. I think now
against Millwall, it was a joke. They were basically rugby tackling him off the
genuinely, it's ridiculous because the ref give cards to protect the players, right? If a player's constantly getting fouled, you book the player so you can't constantly keep fouling the player. For the player's safety. That's the point of it. That annoyed me a lot, to be honest.
The shoulder checks, weren't they, left, right and centre? And it was, he was asked a question as well, Andrea, about the right-sided centre-back, left centre-back. And we'll do our lineup in a bit. But based on what he said, you'd imagine it is going to be Cooper and Strauch. You think, because he sort of said, I think more about the quality as opposed to the position, and then he spoke about Hummels and Boateng both being right-footed for Germany, winning a World Cup, etc. So I think what he was saying there is, Creswell might play with his right foot, but I rate Cooper more, so therefore I'm going to play Cooper.
Yeah, I agree. But honestly, especially against a team like Watford, they have quality up front, and the level of fitness Cooper is actually in. I would like to see Cresswell, honestly, because to me it makes more sense to have Struijk on the left and Cresswell on the right, because Cresswell is more similar to Rodon and is a match fit for 90 minutes. Cresswell, Cooper has just. I repeat what I said yesterday on the final word. For me, if it wasn't for the red card, Cooper wouldn't have been involved at all. It was. We rushed him, and we're gonna rush him again tomorrow, and it's a risk for me because it's clear after this cameo at all, he's not ready for 90 minutes. And if he's 90 minutes tomorrow, of course, he'll struggle to regain fitness because we're rushing him, and that's a risk of getting injured again for me.
Yeah.
That's my point of view, of course, and that's why I give Cresswell a chance and I have Cooper on the bench, and maybe put Cooper on for like we did all in the second half to lead the team, in the end in certain situations, because to me he didn't look ready to play from the start tomorrow, honestly, at all. So I would have hoped we gave a chance to Cresswell, honestly, and we give a chance to Cresswell because it's still in contention. But yeah, I agree from what he said, it's going to be probably Cooper and Struijk, honestly. But that is also because of the possession too.
My thing on that, Andre, is why is Cresswell not even on the bench?
That's worrying, isn't it? It is worrying.
Unless it's something obviously personal, which it doesn't seem like it is, or he might have mentioned it. That's the reason.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's not the level that he needs him to be.
Yeah, because I thought the same because of what we read after what happened with Perkins, at the start of the season. When they asked him about the training sessions, and and he said that you have to give 100% and be ready in training to make the bench even. So it's also a competition to get to the bench. So of course there was no communication from the club on an injury. So it leaves everything open for speculation, and speculation includes, based on what Falke said about not making the bench, the fact that probably wasn't training at his top, at his best form last week. I hope not, because I think he's a unit. Cresswell is Leeds, So honestly, why put Cooper not ready on the bench at all? And not Cresswell. How
do we know he's not ready? You would imagine, though, he is ready.
He's ready, but not for the whole game. Not to start the game for me.
Yeah.
Not to start the game. Okay, for 15-10 minutes, in the end. But we've seen against Oli, made a great tackle in the end. And that's Cooper. That's Liam Cooper.
Yeah.
But
in a nutshell.
My point of view, it's just a fitness issue for me. Because it's about rushing him, because it's a player we need for his experience, and playing him after a midweek and starting tomorrow, for me, it would be a rush. Maybe he'll have a great game in score, but after that, I don't care. It's the same opinion. He may be the best player on the pitch, but for me, we're rushing him. Honestly, in two games, of course, he didn't play the whole game at all, but 2 games in a short space of time, he's been out for after the first game of the season versus Cardiff. So I hope they don't rush him. I hope they control him. They manage the situation, honestly, because I don't want to see him again injured again.
100%. And people probably won't like to hear it. It might sound like a bit of a hot take, but I don't think his ball playing ability is up to the standard that Daniel Farke will want. And if we get promoted, I think his game time's even less. And I don't want to do him a disservice, because I really, really like him, and he bleeds this club. But he needs to play for a side that's not playing out from the back for me. I don't know. The old, and I feel like bad saying it, but it's like Burnley, how Burnley used to play under Dyche, that kind of. Don't get me wrong, he's rock solid. He'll head a brick. He'll get in the way of everything. He'll throw his body everywhere. But I just think maybe he lacks on the ball technically, especially when bringing it out, etc. And I just think Daniel Farke's probably thinking, at least with Cooper, Cooper's had experience doing it under Bielsa. He can play a pass at times. We're yet to see it from Creswell, of course, and I don't have a massive sample size, but you know, he fit in at Millwall and they play a certain brand, as we've seen on the weekend, that might be more suited to him. So it could be that, Lockie. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, or is it a wild take? I'm not sure.
I think, look, at the end of the day, if he's not making the bench at all, he's clearly not of the level that Farke is requiring from the centre backs.
Yeah.
And the whole conversation is down to the fact that Rodon's been sent off. We won't be having this, right? No one on this panel saying Cooper should start for Leeds. Saying, what do we have to do now? Rodon isn't there available, and it's one game. Like, at the end of the day, it's one game, right?
Yeah.
But for me, and the reason for me, look at Creswell and the player he could be. If he's playing at the level, we don't even have the conversation. He comes straight in, right? If he's playing at a level that we all thought in the last 2 years that he could be. Remember when he came on against, he played for West Ham, back pocket.
Yeah, it was great.
Actually,
yeah. That
Antonio.
was the level we thought. Yeah, we thought, all right, this guy's going to be really good. Now, what's happening to the fact he can't even get on the Championship bench? And Liam Cooper, who's been out for God knows how long, since the first game of the season, is getting on over him. And he's not even making the bench. That's a worry. That's a massive
English under 21.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like, he might have had a good week now. He might be back in the team. That happens, right? It might be a kick up the backside. He might be back in the team. He might have been training well. He might understand, right, this is the level. He's a young lad still in here, but let's be honest. So I don't know. But yeah, if he's not putting him on the bench, he clearly doesn't think he's losing anything.
Yeah.
I'm not playing him at this point right now.
100%. I agree. I agree with you, and I always feel bad because, like, he's just signed a new long-term deal and stuff, so he was probably obviously given assurances. But listen, we don't know. Maybe he hasn't been putting it in this week. Maybe he has had something going on. I mean, he probably will return to the bench at the weekend because, you know, Rodon's out, but that's only going to be for one game. And I think we've already seen with Farke, as soon as, regardless of how you play, as soon as what he considers his first teamers to be back, he'll put them straight back in regardless. So even if Coop comes in this weekend and has a good game, there's no guarantees that for Southampton next week he'll be starting. Even though he's the club captain, he might just say Strout left back, Rodon back at right centre back, you know? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, in my mind, when we were talking in the preseason, there were people saying he starts Creswell. I said, Creswell should be an understudy this season, and when there's an opportunity, he should have the opportunity. Because in my mind, because of the way we play, and we've seen that it works. When you have Strauch, a more versatile and mobile centre back on the left, and a more physical and good on the elbows and good with the ball carrying. We've seen comparison with Ben White in that, you know, at the start of the season when he played the first game for us, Rodon. And when Rodon is not fit, I'll play Creswell. When Strauch is not fit, I'll play Cooper. That's it in my mind. Because you have a not so mobile in Strauch on one side. He's more vision player. He's more good with the ball circulation. He's good in certain situations where you have to use your mind in terms of starting the build-up from the back. Rodon is like the brute in that pair, you know. And we need another brute, and that brute is Creswell. And when you don't have Strauch, sure, you need another one who can bring something defensively, but it's not as good with the ball circulation, and that is Cooper, of course. So that's why I honestly give Creswell in.
100%. You know. 100%. There's been loads of wild takes, too many to even star, but there's some saying start Hjelde, I've seen, which is just insane. Do you not remember how Hjelde played earlier on in the season? This is all over Cooper. Andrew, I get the sentiment. Same with Joseph, give him a go. I never agree with that because for me, it's not charity. You've got to play, you've got to be a sufficient level. You know, the same was said for Edmondson when Bamford weren't bloody scoring, and I don't even know where he is anymore. So just because they've come through the academy or are young lads, we can't just say give them a go because it's not Sunday League. Do you know what I mean? It's the Championship, and Daniel Farke's job rests on it. You know, you're not gonna, if you're a manager of a company, some guy who you know is not as good as, you know, the other guy, just go, I'll just give you a go if it's going to cost you your job. And ultimately, that's what Daniel Farke has to have in mind as well. I'm not saying he's anywhere close to that, but you get my point. You know, we're not in a place of just saying, just give him a go for God's sake. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, I just think Cooper's Cooper. I think Andrea hit the nail on the head. You know, he came on. He clearly wasn't up to the like speed of the game, and not obviously made a couple of errors. But then at the end, he's making a game-saving tackle, and we're going, "Wow, what a tackle that is!" And it was, you know. So that is Cooper. He's not always consistent, but he's always, for me, this might sound like, but he's always reliable, man. He's always there. Do you know what I mean? He'll always put his all in when he is fit, and that's all we can ask of him. So, just get off his back and stop trying to like change the formation just so he doesn't play. When people earlier, people were saying earlier, drop Ampadu into centre back and put Gruev in, and I'm like, no, exactly. This is what I'm saying. All just for one game for things. So,
and it will, it will just be one game, won't it, Joe? That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. We'll be pressing the red button after 5 minutes. Trust me. I've seen him play as a centre back with Spezia and Venezia. Don't play him as a centre back. Don't play him as a centre back.
It's all road on
like Bart Simpson. Don't play Ampadu as a centre back. Don't play.
I agree. But yeah, we've chat about that. That just came obviously from the press conference. It's more than likely that will be our centre back partnership. And if I'm being honest, I think it'll be more than enough to beat Watford. And we're going to talk about Watford now. And Lockie's got the night off, and Andrea's put together a little piece for us. So we'll hand over to Andrea and chat about Watford, the Hornets.
Yeah. The Hornets, exactly. Elton John's favorite club. And of course, lads, you're welcome to join in if you have anything to say, like you do when Lockie's doing the presentation. We need to start, of course, from the basics. They have 1 point less than us. They're sit 14. We have 10 points. They have 9. They didn't start the season well after their thrashing of QPR in the first day of the season. They won 4-0. At Vicarage Road against QPR, and you may remember Gareth Ainsworth, the QPR manager, part-time rockstar, saying that probably they had faced the potential league winners. They are a good team, and not that good at the moment, Watford. So but as you can see, 4 goals in the first day of the season. They are an attacking-minded team. Their manager, Valerian Ismail, has already been in Yorkshire. You may remember him, of course, because of the breakout season with Barnsley when they reached the playoffs. And they had Alex Mowat, Collie Woodrow, and also Callum Stiles, Williams. It's a similar style of football to what he used to do at Barnsley and what he didn't do at WBA at West Brom. So after the first match 4-0, they had some ups and downs. A goalless draw at home versus Plymouth, a 1-0 loss against Stoke, 1-0 loss again against Blackburn, 3-3 away at Coventry. Then in the last 2 games, so they are unbeaten since 3 games now. They've gone 3 games unbeaten. They've beaten at home Birmingham 2-0, and in midweek they have drawn 2-2 with West Brom. So Ismail spoke before the match, and about us, he said that he looks forward to the game, to play a side that won in the Premier League, and of course, who have big ambition. We are a team who are able to stand up to a team like Leeds. We are able to perform, and that is what we want to do. We will give everything to win the game tomorrow. So, from that statement, you can guess they try to bring the game to us. But later, I think they'll play a more balanced style of football. Try to, because I've seen all the. I tried to see clips, try to analyze some of their games, and they look very unbalanced to me, honestly. And I think we can start to see right now how they think they will line up, then move to certain pictures I've made of their formation in place, in certain situation in the game. So we can start with this.
Just while you load that up, it was quite nice in the presser where Daniel Farke was talking about playing against him as a defender. I think when they were younger, when they were coming through in a friendly or something along those lines, I think they did the coaching badges together as well, which was cool. But I'll share this now.
Okay. And, here we go. They did the coaches badges in Germany together, and they played together in a friendly when Farke was at, I think, Bonn. and Ismail was the defender at Bayern Munich. Yeah, they faced 3 times, and in the league, it's been one victory for Falk at Norwich against Barnsley when they were managed by Ismail, and one draw. And in the FA Cup, it's the only occasion when Ismail beat Falk in the past. So this is how I think they will line up. They play usually with a 4-3-3, which is very attacking minded.
Bro, is that Jake Livermore?
Yeah.
Is he still around? I cannot believe
he's
that.
still around, but he's not playing. He's struggling to get minutes, honestly, in this side. Okay. So he's not started well in this season for him because he's basically a squad player. He's still around. Yeah, they got him for, I think, on a free from Watford, from West Brom this season. So starting in goal, we have Daniel Bachmann. You may remember him. We surely remember him as Italians because he was the Austrian goalkeeper at Euro 2020. Good goalkeeper, commanding goalkeeper, tall one. But he struggles when, like Melia did, when he has to go out into the area to get the ball sometimes on aerial balls, when he has to leave the goal mouth. Honestly, in midweek, they started with Morris as the left back. But I think they'll start with Lewis because Lewis gives you more balance. Morris is really offensive. They got him from the Southampton Academy. Morris is a very promising player. This is one to watch for the future, honestly. He's very good, honestly. I was impressed because he usually gets open, follow right through Martis or covers this area. So the back four, before we get into the deep analysis, I think they play with Jamal Lewis on loan from Newcastle. We were linked to him in the window because of the connection with Norwich and Falk, of course. Wesley Hood, a tall, strong centre back. He used to play for Lazio, Southampton. Then Ryan Porteous is in doubt, but Ismail said he was a 50-50. He had 2 days where he barely trained, and he trained yesterday. But it's a 50-50. I think in the end he'll start. So they go with their starting and the consolidated established centre-back pair, with Oath and Porteous, with the option of Matty Pollock, who was back on loan from his loan at Aberdeen last season. Now it's back at Watford. They play, I think, Gakia on the right because he played in the last 3 games. Before that, Andrews was the preferred choice. So this will be the back four for me. This one I don't get, honestly, because Sierra Alta is playing as their starting defensive midfielder, Chilean defender. He played also in Italy with Udinese. Very average player for me. Very average player. He struggled as a defender. Now Ismail has changed him into a defensive building midfielder because of his age probably and his physicality. He's not very fast, but he's playing as their playmaker. But he's a choice for me, more defensive minded than offensive, because of course he's a defender and he's not that good with his feet. So it's like the last cover in this area when they lose the ball with the 2 attacking center mids, So that is the solution they go for again. At the weekend they play with Kone here in place of Dele Bashiru and Lusa. I think they'll play with Dele Bashiru and Lusa tomorrow, because Kone, of course, gives you more balance, but Dele Bashiru can be a good box-to-box one. Because when they play with Kone, they interchange usually with Sierra Alta. There will be a picture later when you see Sierra Alta going there and Kone covering his area when Sierra Alta follows the play. So you see you have 2 center mids who join the attack usually in front of Sierra Alta. I think there'll be Dele Bashiru and Lusa. Imran Lusa, Moroccan, born in France. He's like their star player, we can call him that, like that. Yeah. I have a Moroccan friend who lives in Birmingham. He usually used to say to me when we talked about Morocco, because he lived in my own town, then moved to the UK when he was 15. He said that the Moroccans really don't rate him, but honestly, he's their creative player in the middle. Yeah. He's already have 3 assists this season, so he'll be the player to look out for, because he usually moves in the final third. He starts here as the right center mid, but he usually moves and and follow the plays. Like they have two playmakers. The real playmaker is Lusa, not the holding midfielder. This one, Sierralta, is like, if you see the formation, you can say, you can guess, Sierralta is the playmaker, is the holding midfielder, something the build up from the back, but the real one is Lusa. The real one is Lusa, and Sierralta is a defensive choice for me. Then if going to the wingers, we have this one, Martins, on loan from Udinese, because you may remember that the Pozzo family owns Watford, and Udinese they used to own also Granada. They don't anymore right now. Martin is really good. Udinese got him from Fluminense in Brazil. If you see him move, it gives you Rafinha vibes, lads. Honestly, he's not as good as Rafa, but if you see him move, he has similar moves. He's also Brazilian. But yeah, the second goal they scored against WBA, he started from this side with Morris here, trying to overlap. He faked a pass to Morris. He went central, passed, got here and shoot with a good curved right foot and into the bottom corner. He's apart from Lusa, he's their star player. Martins is doing really well. Already 3 goals, I think. Then up front they got from Kalmar in Sweden, Rajovic. He sounds Serbian because his family is from the Balkans, but he's actually Danish in terms of eligibility. And on the right they have, I think, Tom Ince again, very loved and popular player at the Land Road, of course. Because of the past of his dad.
Your dad's it, and so were you.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you used to visit Land Road with Derby County. But yeah,
he'll be getting it tomorrow as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
imagine.
I think the only 50-50s can be Pollock and Porteous in here, and Lewis and Morrison and Gaki Andus. These 3. I think they'll play with Sierralta because Ismail said that if Porteous is not fit, they have Pollock or Sierralta. I think they'll probably play Sierralta in place of Porteous without, and Livermore will get a start finally. Or Kone, probably one of those two will start here, and they play with Dele Bashiru and Lusa here. Then from the bench, you see they have Bayo and Rajovic. Rajovic is a physical player. He's similar to Piro, but he's like, the route 9, route 1, tall, old number 9 striker in the English game. He's a physical one. He had an hat-trick, and he has scored since. And they have 2 similar strikers on the bench. Bayo and Ely was in doubt. English player who used to be at Toulouse. He did really well in Ligue 2 with Toulouse. They got promoted. Yeah, he's eligible actually for Wales. So if there's some Welsh fans in the chat, look out for him because he's also eligible for Wales. His name, of course, is Rice Ely. So there's no more Welsh name than that. Then, of course, on the bench, they have these 2 options. Usually, Ince, around the 60 minutes, in the last 3 games, he was subbed off, then Asprilla came on. Or Chuck Vetadze, the low-cost Kvaratskhelia from Georgia. So they have these 2 options. They are, of course, missing here a big player in this team for me, the Swedish Ken Sema, who used to play for Udinese in Italy, who's a veteran player, consistent player. He's injured, so they're missing him. About the formation. Okay, we'll start with this one. This one is the first goal they score with Ince. This is the starting movement, So you can see they are a very attacking-minded team. You have Martins with the ball here. Morris. Usually he starts inside. Morris. Then Martins gets low, gets the ball, try to get 1-on-1, and Morris overlaps.
Overload, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They overload on this side. Then Martins has some options here. He can pass the ball to Kone. He can try to move forward and pass the ball to Morris. Then Morris can cross it to Rajovic, and Ince can get into the area. And Lusa can follow and stay outside of the box. Here, of course, you see that they are a very attacking-minded team because the 2 center mates actually look where they are. They're basically on the edge of the box. Kone and Lusa. And then you have Sierralta, who was not seenable here, was not seen pictured in this one, but is near the referee here. You see that they are a very attacking-minded team. In this occasion, Morris can overlap. Martins can get the one-on-one. He usually goes inside. He doesn't go wide. Martins. He likes, like Rafa did, to go inside and try to get the one-on-one. Rajovic, as you can see, what Pirlo needs to do as the number 9, he stays inside the box. He stays inside the area and tries to get into the crosses and try to get the passes, the low passes, and hold the ball, defend it with his body, and turn around. Here, actually, they started the ball here. What they interchanged the area. The ball went here, then went to Lusa, and then Hinz. So they score from this side. As you can see, they cover the pitch pretty well when they attack, because they all move forward and they leave spaces. Because if you recover the ball here, let's imagine this player, Jed Wallace, I think it is, recovers the ball. He has Morris has left space behind him. Martins is not covering. Corner will run to run back to try to catch up with him. But you only have Sierra Alta, you have Gengaki on the other side, and just Earth and Porteous, the 2 center backs. It's very open.
I was just going to ask about that, Andre. Do you think if they do overload that either side with the fullback, do you think they will push both centre mids on against us, who have destroyed teams from that position right there?
Yeah, there'll be a big mistake from them, I think, Loki. I think they'll try to do that. Probably, if I were them, I'll leave Kone or Delabashiru a little more like here, not joining the attack, but being a passing option here, like a second playmaker with Sierra Alta here, and try to get loose in the middle with Ince more wide, because if you lose the ball, you exploit our strengths here. We've seen that against Millwall, and we'll also have a picture about this later on. But just to finish it off with this one, you have Morris here, Martins. This one will be hypothetically ailing side.
Mm-hmm.
So you need also help here from Strauk if Strauk plays alongside with Cooper. So we'll have Strauk as the right center back, and we have Gray or Kamara here. We know that Gray and Kamara usually cover this area when Ampadu is in possession, because we know that Ailing goes forward to join the attack and join the build-up, because he doesn't overlap or underlap like he used to do in the past. So we have one of the 2 defensive midfielders, Ampadu and Gray. We usually have Gray here covering this area, so you need to help Ailing on this side, because it's the same with Lewis. Lewis is more defensive-minded and he's more balanced. Morris, as you can see here, and we'll see later, he's very, very offensive going forward. So we'll need to watch out for this one. Then going to the next one. Okay, it's the same one. Great. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one is a defensive one. Let's move to the defensive one too, because I had the question you asked, Loki. This one, they were trying to start the attack from the back. One of the 2 center backs misplaced the pass. West Brom recovered the ball. Look at their formation. Kone here, Sierra Alta here. This was in the second half, so they had 2 strikers in, because they also have the option to play with 2 strikers with the Bayo moving beside Rajovic. Look at their formation. Look how open they are. Asprilla, who was subbed in the second half, here. Jamal Lewis, the left back, here. Lusa, up. Sierra Alta up. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4 the West Brom players and 1 Watford player, and this is what happened. Actually, Bachmann saved this goal scoring opportunity. Sierra Alta run back to try to catch up with the ball. Kone was of course surpassed because of the majority of West Brom players. But look at the options. You have Earth and Pollock going for 1 player. They leave the space for 1 year and 1 year. Andrews rushes back to get the West Brom player, but look how open they were. They were really.
Do you expect that going away though? Because obviously they were at home in this game, so it's like, will we envisage?
I don't think. Obviously, I think that's what Andre said earlier. Didn't you? They definitely won't be that expressive, but. If it's a habit of their team and it's what they do in training every day, there might be once or twice where they, kind of
just go for
do
it.
That by accident. Yeah. So then if we win that ball back, and then that was West Brom. If it's us on the counter there, it's devastating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it would be interesting that actually see how much they kind of risk trying to overload in 2 or 3 different areas.
Yeah, the alternative is this one. As you can see against Coventry, attacking side, they play for a length during the game. In certain moments, a low block, and when they play a low block, they their formation is like this. They have the wingers following, pushing back. And you have Sierralta dropping like a third defender, like in front of the defense, because of course he used to play a defender. He's like a libero, a sweeper, back in the 80s, on the 90s. You have, of course, the right back and the right centre mid very close, with Ince trying to press on the first opportunity when they try to get the ball, of course, because this is the goal of the low block: get the ball to the wings. So when the ball gets to the left back of Coventry here, I think that's Bidwell probably, Ince goes here to try to press him, and they'll move back because they are covered. It's a situation they want. Ball on the wing. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 imprisoned players of Coventry here. The only opportunity you can get is that this player here gets towards the ball. And if he fails to do so, you have to go back, because there's no space in the middle. Because you have Lusa, Delebashiru, and Sierralta. Look here, the midfielder of Coventry, he doesn't have space to go forward here. 1, 2, 3. It's like a triangle. The only other opportunity I can see is that he crosses the ball, try to get a through ball with the striker here going in behind. But yeah, we are not a team who plays with long balls, in the end. So I think they'll try to insert the situations when the defender try to play and to mirror us in the end, But they try to play with the low block with like 3 defenders, because Sierralta will drop back. The 2 fullback stay narrow, because with narrowness and crowding a lot of people and bodies in the middle, you are forced to get the ball on the sides, and it's a winning situation, a situation you're happy with in the end, because the only opportunity from here, if the ball is there, you have to dribble either or cross the ball in the middle. So I think they'll try to play with the low block and counter attack. They'll try to mirror what we did to Millwall in the end.
What I'll be interested to see with this is, if they're not a team that doesn't naturally play a low block, and it's quite a rare thing, when a team's really piling pressure on you, constantly having the ball and rotating, how committed are you to that low block? That's the difficult thing about a low block. You have to be mentally on it. One gap, one mistake, and that's how the one-on-one happens so easily, by a little bit of movement. So that would be questions like Martins and Ince. How good are they at sitting in that low block? How good is Lusa at sitting in that low block? These players that going forward, how good are they? Do they really want to be in a low block for a long period of time? So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this is how the low block will look like when they defend, basically. So as you can see, of course, the 2 players deputed for the early pressing, I call it like that. When we start with the build-up and send the ball here, will be the wingers, and that's it. Instead, when they attack, if they attack in the ideal situation, they play like that. Martins usually goes inside. Lusa follows up. Okay, here. Delebashiru stays like in the middle as the opportunity. At a passing opportunity for Martins. They have either Lewis or Morris overlapping, and they have like Sierralta staying back, and Ngakia covering this area because he's like an aid, an help for Sierralta. But as you can see, if they lose the ball, they only have 3 players here. It's not ideal against us.
Did you say on Andrea before? I think it was. Did they not concede 3 while playing that low block?
Yeah. Exactly, because they played in certain situations with the low block, but they're not used to it, and they concede 3 against Coventry. But they also create opportunities from recovering the ball and stretching, and in that formation. So we'll need to adapt to that situation and try to force them out. For me, in certain situations, we need to protect their game, because if we get them out of the low block and playing opening and playing in the open, I think we'll have opportunities to play our style of football. And
be patient, don't we? Be patient, force a press. If even one of them presses from that low block, that just gives you space.
Yeah, I had another one. Let's see if because I put two similar ones in one picture. Okay, it's not here. It's here. Okay, here it is. Okay, yeah, this one. Okay, let's show this one. Then we can move on after this, because I put two similar ones in one place. Okay, this was the other one. Because the one I showed before was actually the second goal of Martins going inside. This one was the first goal. Okay, so the situation was similar, to the second goal they scored with Martins shooting and putting the ball into the bottom corner here. Here in the first goal, they started with the ball with Morris inside, passed the ball to Martins. Martins drew a defender to him. Then Martins passed the ball to the overlap or Morris. Morris then passed the ball again into the middle. They passed the ball all to the other side. Twins and Ince shoot from there and into the top corner here. But as you can see, again, another occasion is what is actually good that we've shown it. We've shown this right now because, of course, we've seen this one, as you can see here with Ngakia here, Morris, and look at this formation. And now look at this one. Yeah. You see, it's that. That is what we were showing on the graphic here. The left back here, the winger staying outside. Rajovic always into the box. Kone and Luza, look where they are. This is an attack in the first half. Look where they are, at the edge of the box, and Sierralta and Ngakia like two midfielders, because Ngakia, of course, he doesn't do what Morris does. He stays back and aids Sierralta. So that's Watford to you. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you're muted, Joe.
Sorry, I can't wait to get back in my room because my mic cuts out the extra noise, whereas these two, they start snoring and all you'll hear is grunting. So it's supposed to be tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be back up there. Thank you very much, Andrea, for putting that together for us. I know it's massively appreciated from those that watch it and like that, and I know it's massively appreciated from me. So thank you for taking the time to do that, giving us an in-depth look into Watford. Before I come to you, Lockie, just on your initial thoughts from it, I'm hoping they come as gung-ho as that, and it's quite interesting in both moments. The passages of play were almost identical, which shows that that's something that Leeds will be prepared for sure. And if they do, throw a lot forward, which they may do at times, like you said, they have them rare attacks, then I would fancy Leeds United on the counter, because it's a massive weapon of ours, with the players that we've got, the speed in which we can break and the passing that can do. That I think we'll gobble them up, mate. What do you make to Watford on the analysis you've just seen?
To be honest, that low block seemed a bit rubbish. I'll be honest. I think there was a lot of for usual low block. I don't think the guys were close enough in terms of the wide areas. A little bit of movement there. I think they can be undone. They conceded 3 goals doing a low block. That shouldn't happen. Obviously, certain areas of the game they did that, but yeah, they're not a side that does that naturally. So if you can force them into that kind of area of the pitch and just be creative, I think we can get a few goals for sure. If they want to, again, and the other side's like if they want to attack and leave space in behind, good for us. We just got to be patient and compact and defensively. And by the looks of that, when we will get chances to attack and score. So that's what I'm excited about. Now the strikers and whoever it is in that position just has to go for it and be clinical on the day, I think. Yeah,
for sure. Let's have a look at our lineup then and how we envisage it to line up tomorrow. Big up Andy. Andy knows I get frustrated sometimes with the chat. I'm like, I've got facial leakage. That's what my gaffer used to say to me at my old job. I'd be sat in meetings and someone would say something and I'd go, and he'd go, Joe, you need to stop with the facial leakage. You just keep a straight face like you're going, yeah.
I think that's a West Yorkshire thing, Joe.
No, yeah, I'm like,
my family like that. You can just tell, what's wrong with you now? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, tell your face that. For sure. Right, okay. Quickly to fill in, Mellier's definitely starting in goal.
Yeah.
We know that one of the midfielders will be Ampadu.
Yeah.
We know that right back's going to have to be. Oh, I've got 2 frees in there. Hang on. I'll change that. There we go. We know that probably right. Actually, let's work from this, right? Okay, so do we? If we go from back to front, we start at left back. Do we think that the reason for Byron being rested Wednesday night was because he's going to start this game?
I believe.
So.
Yeah.
From
what Fark was saying, he can't play 3 games in a week, right? So he'll definitely play, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Over to the right-hand side, I know the chat will work in loads of different mad permutations to try and get Bill out of the side, including like calling back, I don't know, Gary Kelly and that, just to see if he can get him on a 1-game deal. But are we confident that it'll be Bill Ayling at right back?
Yeah.
Would just for argument's sake, I know you probably don't agree, but do you think we should be in a situation where we put Byram out there and leave Shackleton at left back, start Shackleton at right back, maybe start Gray there? Any thoughts on that?
Not for me. There's probably a way in which that could work. Obviously, that happened at the weekend, right? But when Byram came on at right back, but I think with Cooper coming in, that's you can't change up 3 players in the back line's position. With Rodon out, then it'll only be Strauch. That you're changing basically your back 4, right? Position. Yeah. So I don't think he'll risk that. I don't think, just Byram on the left is what we want him. He's balanced on that side. He's good on that side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me.
And especially they have either Andrews or Ngakia that we've seen. They're the ones not joining the attack and moving into midfield. So if we recover the ball, there's space for our left back to get forward and attack them. And instead on the right, they'll have Martins. So we'll need a more defensive-minded player on the side for me. So I'm okay with Ayling, honestly.
For sure. Centre-backs then. We know that Joe Rodon's out. He's going to miss 1 game due to a suspension. The fact that Creswell wasn't in the squad, listening to Daniel Farker's comments in the presser, you'd imagine it's going to be Cooper and Strauch, right, lads?
Yeah, I think the comments are interesting. It's almost like one of them, without naming the player, if you're not going to do it, you're not going to play it. Simple as that. I don't care who you are, what pedigree you play for England 21s, don't bother me. If Cooper can come in after being out for how many weeks and play over you on the bench.
Yeah. It's not good, is it?
No.
For whatever reason.
And we're talking about if it's a performance reason. We don't know, do we? But we imagine it is, right? I imagine it is.
But even if it's not, and it's just also, it's like he clearly doesn't rate him as much as what us fans probably do, because otherwise you'd have left him on the bench for a start, or you'd have brought, you know what I mean? So the fact that he's been binned off and then Cooper brought straight back in and used, I feel a bit sorry for him because he just signed a new deal. But
I just hope he's put it in training this week. But if we do need him to play, he's there available because we need that competition still. Yeah,
100%.
And it may also be an experience thing, in that back pairing, because if you play Strauch and Cresswell, they are. Of course, you have Strauch, who's more experienced, but another young centre back, and I'll go for that. But I'm thinking that Farke usually wants a more experienced centre back to lead the other one. And honestly, in this game, Rodon is leading Strauch. And they play pretty well. So here, I think you want Cooper to lead Strauch because, of course, Strauch and Rodon, they are. Rodon is an international. He has experience. He plays also in the Premier League with Tottenham and had some very limited opportunities, of course. But here you have Strauch and Cooper was the experienced one. So if we started to know Farke better, we know that in the back four you usually want a more experienced player and another young one, for example. For example, when he played Godfrey on one side and at Norwich, and then he had the experienced one on the other side, like Zimmerman, for example.
No, I think that's fair. Will this be the game, lads, that we see Gray rested? If I'm a betting man, I'm saying no and he plays, but
Probably.
I think he plays.
Yeah, same.
I don't know though, because I think the 10 men will have definitely put extra load in there.
He did look battered, to be honest.
He did. But I think that was down to the fact. I think if it was 11, he'd have looked a lot fresher, obviously.
Yeah.
But but will that have carried over a bit more fatigue potentially? I think it's definitely a conversation. The media wanted to talk about Ampadu in the press conference, but we all wanted to know about what about Archie Gray? How's his condition? You know, is it? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I really want to see Kamara start, me.
Yeah, I want to see Kamara. He used to play for Rangers, you know, so to quote the great man at Millwall, you know. But yeah,
the only player that got complimented.
I went like that, yeah, and then I realised what you meant.
Yeah, no, honestly, I like to see Ampadu and Kamara in this game, but especially because we'll have one of the two going forward. One of the two midfielders can have the space to go forward for me in certain situations when we recover the ball, as we've seen. And I like to see Kamara doing that. But yeah, I'm okay with Gray too. I think Gray will start. But yeah, I want to see his fitness level because he looked, like Jose, looked absolutely exhausted after the game. At all. He's never missed. He started like Ampadu. He started all the games, so they might be, honestly, both of them really fatigued, exhausted. Because Ampadu, of course, they're asking in the press conference, but yeah, he had a knock before all.
He had a knock.
Yeah,
as well, sure.
Yeah, they asked, you know, about Ampadu having a knock. I would have liked, honestly, he played great, but if a player is not 100%, honestly, I would have rested him if it wasn't 100%. Because right now, let's see both Ampadu.
I don't think we
can
rest him out of this side, you know.
I know, because Grujev is not. He's not ready yet, probably, to do what Ampadu is doing. He has to understand the system better. We don't know.
The only time Ampadu will get rest is game 45 when we've already won league.
It's probably right, you know. It's probably right. I think we'd all maybe... This isn't a case of us just saying Gray's been poor. We love him, but I think if we're being honest, we'd probably all go, do you know what, let's give Kamara a go. And or let's play Kamara. But... do we think he will? I think he still goes Gray.
Yeah. It's
like, again. He'd play again.
Yeah.
I would like Kamara though. I do want to see Kamara.
Yeah, true.
Definitely
true.
do.
I think it's safe to say 9 and 10 is Pirro Rutter, right?
And hopefully they'll get space to work in this game.
And hopefully they have Rotter as the 10 and Pirro as the 9, because I think Pirro needs to stay in the box, near the box, and Rotter needs to have free movement and able to roam, to be like an all-around player, standing beside, you know, playing a position right behind Pirro. So I like to see them interchanging, but with Pirro starting as number 9, you know.
I think you'll be waiting a long time, my man.
Yeah. I know that too.
Somerville has to start based on his cameo. He came on and I thought he was the real bright spot up there. Do you reckon?
Somerville starts, especially not know output. Where? That's who are the two wingers? That's the conversation.
That's the question.
Like James dropped, if I'm honest.
Yeah. James doesn't have to start tomorrow.
I don't think.
For me.
So is that Anthony?
It's an impact sub. Yeah, Anthony and Somerville, but there's two options, you know. You play them on the natural side, Anthony on the left and Somerville on the right, or you play them inverted because they can get inside and have shooting opportunities by trying to dribbling inside with the movements to try to draw the defenders inside the area from Rotter and Pirro.
Yeah, I think the situation where, again, like he was when he came on the other day, Dan James can be effective in this game is potentially, the last 15, 20 minutes when they're stretched, for sure. It'll be interesting because if they play a low block, you kind of want that, that more technical player, right? But if they are more attacking, it depends on how they come out. If you're there attacking, leaving loads of space in behind, a player like Dan James can affect that. But if they're in a low block, you don't want Dan James trying to break teams down, do you? Let's
absolutely. I'll play Anthony on the left, honestly, because you'll have to face like Ngakia or Andrius. So of course, get into the one-on-one, attack them. On the other side, I like to see Somerville because we've seen that Somerville likes to move centrally. Yeah. So he'll draw and take with him Lewis or Morris there, the one who's starting for Watford, either one of the two. So I like to see Somerville on the right, so you can draw the left back centrally with him. I like to see Anthony on the left, so we have an attacking threat, a one-on-one attacking threat, a dribbling one on the other side, right in front of Ngakia. Yeah.
Muted Joe.
Muted Joe. Muted again.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, good. Can't wait to get back in my room. For whatever reason, it just shut it all down there, my camera and everything. Yeah, I think even without Rodon and Nonto, it's still a very strong 11, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. Just still look at the front four. It's dangerous, and then the two midfielders again. The back line's a bit mismatched, but it is what it is. That's the way it is, and we've got more than enough there to beat a Watford side that go for it at times and leave spaces and do concede goals. For me, be a big game. I think I'm looking at the likes of Somerville and Anthony, the wingers. Real impact on this, especially if they do play a low block. There was space behind their low block for late runners like maybe Rutter as well. So, yeah, happy with it.
No, I agree. Same. Very, very happy with the lineup. Which brings us to our predictions, guys, because obviously we.
Oh, sorry, someone in the chat's getting a bit angry. I need to chill out there. Jeez.
Oh, why? What
are you doing?
Stop muting yourself and then rubbish team.
Oh, right, okay. I mean, I'm muting myself so you can't hear the dogs snoring. As for it being a shite team, it's not. But yeah, there you go. What would your team be, my man? What would your team be? Please do let us know. Okay, right. Let me get this spreadsheet up and we'll have a look at our score predictions. Bloody hell, it's not working now. Honestly, I cannot wait to get back in my room.
I see we've got first goal scorer at the weekend, but no one scored.
Up for us now. Hey?
No one scored, did they? I was like, who got first goal scorer? No one.
Oh, right, yeah. Here we go. Enable macros. So last week, I went for 2-0, Lockie went for 2-1, Andrea went for 2-1. Obviously, the match was a draw and 0-0. So no points for any of us that one. We'll do this weekend and this, Saturday, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Wow, yeah. I'm tired. Watford, listen, I think we spanked them 3-0. I say it with chest. I'm not concerned about Watford. Tom Ince will have a stinker as per. We'll beat Watford comfortably. And I think that the first goal scorer is going to be my man Somerville tomorrow, cutting in and finds the bottom corner, to be precise. 3-0 leads, easy. Here we go. Lockie, you.
3-1.
3-1. There we go.
Who's going to score first, though? It's going to be Jorginho Ruta. That's who it's going to be.
Nice, like it.
Yeah.
And Andrea?
2-1.
2-1 Leeds, yeah.
And 2-1 and Anthony. First goal scorer.
I like it. Last week, the chat, if you remember, Mr. Dodo also went for 3-0 Leeds. Someone put theirs in the chat now, and I'll pick one at random. So if you just quickly put that in and the chat, we've got, let's have a look. Next one that comes in, Vega. Vega with 3-1 Leeds. There we go. So Leeds. Who's your first goal scorer, Vega? We need your first goal scorer as well, my man. Kilgallen's team, just for arguments, was Melier, Byram, Strout, Creswell, Shack. Well, already that's terrible, mate. Hang on. That back four is absolutely woeful. Ampadu, Kamara, Anthony, Rutter, Somerville, Pirro. Okay. The back four is terrible. So, yeah, there you go. Vega, who's your goal scorer, please?
I reckon he's going to say Pirro.
I reckon.
Yeah. Coop header. I've already had one of those, Joe. Did that first game of the season, retired that one now.
Yeah. Pirro, yes. He's gone Pirro. There we go. So we will wait till tomorrow. What time's the game kick off tomorrow? Oh, it's 3 p.m., isn't it? Just standard, yeah. So I'll be live from 2 o'clock, folks. Lockie, is there anything over on Lockie Leeds that people can get there?
Not much. There'll be there won't be a pre-game. There'll be the day after. I'll do my player ratings and probably a match reaction as well.
Cool.
Been busy the next few weeks, so there won't be too much on there, but there'll be match stuff. Nothing extra until maybe next month when I'll do some more individual player stuff and stuff like that. Then.
Cool. Look forward to it. And then we'll be starting to prep for January anyway soon. I'm telling you, man. It's October. It's October soon, man. In 10 days or something. It's mad. Yes. The answer to this question is yes. And you know, you might not agree, but I'll probably say I'll land on the side of Daniel Farke. So I don't think that's a bad side to land on. But the answer is yes. Andrea, looking forward to the game, mate. Are you going to be joining us tomorrow, or have you got
no? Because
you're going away, aren't you? Tell us.
Yeah, I'm going away, so I will just watch the result. I will try to watch the game later on replay.
Yeah.
So I won't
tell us where you're going.
Away day tomorrow in Italy.
Yeah, man. Where are you going?
Yeah, Spezia Reggiana in Cesena. Yeah, and unfortunately, they've placed the kick-off at the same time as Leeds. It's
nightmare.
Usually they're not at the same time because so far it's been good because they were never the same. But my dad used to be a club official for both clubs at some time, so
really?
it's a special game.
So it's the Russo derby.
Yeah, exactly. But they don't play in Spezia because they are renovating the stadium, so they play in Cesena, which is actually more near Reggio than Spezia. So it'll be like an home game for Reggiana instead, but it's Spezia and the team at home. Yeah. So nice. I will try to keep updated and to be updated and to keep up with the game and then watch it when I get home again from Romagna. Yeah.
You don't need to worry because tomorrow's going to be a nice, comfortable game for Leeds United, I believe. I think we'll be fine. Yeah, I think we will. We're going to win the game 3-0. Another clean sheet, 4 on the spin. We move. Listen, folks, if you've liked the video, please do like it. If you haven't, then I'm sorry. We'll try harder next time. Please do subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit the notification bell and all that jazz. I will be back. Lockie, are you around or will you be away?
I'm there, mate.
Oh, you're going to the game, aren't you? Yeah, good luck, man. Where's your seat?
Well, if trains decide to stop.
Yeah. Just walk, man. Set off now, man.
Honestly, you're not wrong. I don't know where I'm sat. My mate Adam's got the tickets.
Right, okay.
He just said, I've got 2, we're going. Nice.
Love that. Well, I hope you have a great day, mate. So, yeah, that'll be class. Hopefully it doesn't rain either. But it'll be nice for Leeds United to get a win at home. We need one. Let's have one. Yeah. And it would round off.
Is there looking chat? Hey, Burns. What a man.
Hey, Burns. Right, okay. So tell us where you're sitting, hey, Burns. Tell us where you're sitting, my man.
Yeah, tomorrow, Lockie, you'll have to sign autographs at the ground, like the players.
Oh, no, you're in the worst possible place, man. Unlucky.
Oh, yeah, we are right at top as well.
Oh, really? There you go. If you stand up there, they're like, can you sit down? I say, fuck off.
I
remember for my 30th, for my mate's 30th and then my 30th, we both paid for hospitality each time, and you sit in comfy seats. I mean, the hospitality at Leeds United is woeful anyway, but all it is just comfy seats, just normal seats, but with a pad on them. And anyway, when it got up, he was like, "Can you sit down, please?" And it annoyed us because it was, I think. My mate Sean's was Cardiff on a Friday night when Warnock took them up and they dicked us. And I think, so that was either mine or his. And the other one we got beat on a Friday night by Sheffield United on the other one. And it was raining and it was just a washout. But we had a good night out in Leeds, so it is what it is. So yeah, every time I've been hospitality, we've been beat. So yeah, never again. It's a shit experience anyway. Yeah. You get put in a tent across the road. Although, to be fair, right, that tent, the centenary, those that go to the game, they're not. The centenary we used to go in match days. Yeah, you used to give them your match day ticket, show them your season ticket. You got one free ticket for a Budweiser or whatever drink behind the bar. They'd have like pie and peas at the front and whatnot. And then as soon as we got Premier League, they just cut it in half and then said, right, that's hospitality now. And I was just like, oh, football's for the fans, yeah. Football's for the fans.
Don't want to be in the Premier League overrated.
Exactly. But yeah, that's it, folks. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you all. These will see you in a couple of days when we do Final Word. I'll see you tomorrow, 2 o'clock on the channel as Leeds take on Watford. Thanks everyone for watching and